Okay, so hi everyone, and welcome to day 4. Wow, day 4 of our Moodle retreat. Time does go fast. If you've made it to day 4, thank you. Thanks for coming back every day, and I hope it's helpful for you. It certainly is a lot to try and get across, and it's a very interesting forum that we're using. But I feel like we're moving along. And your painting today should start to take shape. If we go back to our metaphor from the beginning of the week, then this is a little bit paint night, or I joke that it's academic Bob Ross, for those of you who remember the Bob Ross television show on that used to be on. And so now we're going to start to see the painting appear. Our sunset will appear today. And to do that, I'm just going to go right into Moodle. I'm going to start where I left off yesterday, and we're going to build today. The good news is everything that we do is recorded. It's posted to the Going Digital website, so you can always come back and watch it again many times. But if you can have a Moodle site open beside and click along with me, that can also be helpful as well. Sometimes when we're going, it can happen a little bit fast or too fast, but that's okay. We can go back and visit it again. And today there'll be a couple times where I'll start something, but then I might just direct you to where you can find that full resource on the Going Digital website, because I've already done a retreat where I've gone through step by step on how to do that. So rather than taking the time today to do so, I might show you in a very quick fashion, but then point you in that direction to go and get that resource. Having said that, I think Linda Carroza is with me today, working the chat room. So welcome, Linda, from the Teaching Commons, our QP2 peer mentor, and from the Department of Philosophy. So thank you, Linda, for being here. Always a pleasure to work with you. And of course, thank you to Sonia and to Emily and to all the team who are working behind the scenes from the Dean's Office and eServices to make sessions like this available to you. There are more sessions. Just before I go any farther, next week there's another 5-day retreat for those teaching upper-level courses, seminars, upper-level courses. And then in the month of August, there are actually going to be 4 retreats. Every Tuesday, there will be a 2-hour retreat. One is on how to use Gradebook. One is on how to do tests and quizzes and evaluation and rubrics. One will be on how to, I think, do assignments and turn it in. And then one will be on all types of the different, I guess, like menial or administrative tasks that are complicated that Moodle tends to present. And so there'll be 4 2-hour retreats coming in the month of August. They're on Tuesdays. And in the email where you signed up for this, the sign up should have also been there for all of those as well. So please, sign up for as many as you like and come to those. And I have a meeting next week in the Dean's office, and I'm sure that meeting will be about more Moodle retreats in August. I think we may even see some more. So if you have requests of things that you would like to see covered that didn't get covered this week, or that you feel need a day to themselves or a couple hours just to themselves, or you'd really like the opportunity to sort of walk through the pedagogy behind why we do certain things on Moodle and the click by click of how to do it, please share those. So send me an email and we'll try and make those possible to you. Also, some of you have seen me come to your departments already or your programs with the Associate Dean of Teaching and Learning. If you haven't, you can always speak to your chairs or your UPDs about helping to set up something like that. We've come to many of your programs. We're coming again to some of them in the month of August, and we are always, again, available to help you. We are resources here for you. So hopefully we can do that, and we can be available and be accessible and provide good help to you so that you can provide great courses for your students. Because I know you're all great teachers in the classroom, so hopefully we can take that amazing energy that you have in the classroom that makes you superb and dynamic and so great, part of what makes York great, and we can get that online, even in the most difficult and challenging of times. Okay, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to come into and get going and start building. Where am I? Here's my dashboard. So now here I am, and I'm in Moodle. So I've logged into my Moodle site. These are the courses that I'm currently teaching. Just a reminder of the dashboard. I know what these are the ones I'm currently teaching because they're in progress. And then I'm using the summary version. Remember, there's the card version. There's the list version. I like to work with the summary today. And I'm just going to show you one of my classes right now that I'm teaching this summer in humanities. It's not a gen ed or a first year course, but the reason why I'm pulling it up is that when I scroll down, there's my like an intro video and a course description and some course announcements that we talked about yesterday. And then here's my virtual office hours sign-up sheet. So this is kind of like what we did yesterday. And I wanted to just show you when I click on that virtual office hours sign up sheet, this is what, right now I'm in the student view. I want you to see, so this is what the students will see. And when they click on it, this is what they see. These are my office hours, and these are the slots that I'm available to book. So when the student comes into this after I've set up that scheduler, what they're going to see is the slots that are available, who the teacher is that they can meet with, and then they just click on it to book that slot. If they were to click on it to book that slot, they can confirm the booking, and then that will be, then that's when I get the email, or whoever the teacher is here, Stephen Gennaro, that would be me, would get the email that says, hey, someone's booked an office hour with you. And that's about how it all works. So it's actually sort of really that kind of simple. It's just a shell. It's just a scheduler. Now, if you have multiple teachers in your course, could you set up multiple office appointments in the same time? Yeah, you could. And then there would be one row here at 3 o'clock. It would say Stephen Gennaro, and then maybe one row here beside it that would say Carlo Cohen, if that was the second instructor. And then the next row for 3 o'clock might say Tim McCauley, if that was the next instructor. And then the next one at 3 o'clock might say Nadia Habib, if that was the next instructor. I'm just reading the names that are on my screen in front of me of people who are currently in the retreat, if you're wondering how I picked those. So you could do that. But also if you have multiple instructors and you wanted to keep it maybe, again, clean or easier for students to find, you might just put in each section area, which we're going to build today, or each tutorial section, you might put your own a scheduler for each instructor. You could definitely do that as well. But whoever the teacher is that they sign up to meet with, when they book the slot, that's who will get the email if you've turned that on to let them know that it's happening. Okay. To let them know that, or to let, yeah, that there's an appointment. If I go back to where this, to what the students see, I'm going to come back here. Underneath where the virtual office sign-up sheet is, there's a virtual office hours Zoom link. So have you booked an appointment to speak with me? Click here to enter the Zoom room. So you actually have to, the scheduler only creates the schedule. We actually have to create the link, okay, and we have to create the Zoom room where we're going to meet up. So today I'm going to show you a little bit about how to do that. That's where we'll start. I just want to let you know, though, if we go to the Going Digital website, where, of course, I keep taking you back to, because there's just so many resources here to help you. And most of our answers can be found here, or they'll direct us where we want to go. And we scroll down on the Going Digital website, there's actually a Teaching with Zoom section. So if we click on the Teaching with Zoom section, we're going to get a lot of great information. Here's our dean himself, speaking to us a little bit about how to set up a nice video conferencing space so that you are well lit up and easy to hear. And there's lots of different links here to show you how to do different things inside of Zoom. Polling, breakout rooms, virtual backgrounds, people were asking about today in the chat room, like the one you see behind you right here. How to share a screen, how to use a whiteboard, how to annotate together, also about transcriptions and chat. So yesterday, if you remember correctly, you may remember, I was working with all of you, and while I was working with you, I began to talk about a pen that I had, and I was sort of drawing on the screen with the pen. And many people asked me about that. Am I using a special piece of technology, like a digital pen? I don't know if you can see this. This is not. This is a regular pen. I was actually just using the functions that are available to us in Zoom. And so to learn about that, if you click on annotation or whiteboard, it will take you to a spot that will show you how that works. But really, it's just a quick click of the button that says annotate, and then it brings up a pen for me, and I can start to draw with it. Okay, so there's nothing really that special there, but it does help when we're teaching to have that option. And in the same way, it's already been talked about, in the bottom left corner, there's where the stop video or the video button would be. There's a small arrow beside that that's pointing downwards, or maybe, or upwards. If you click that arrow, one of the options is to choose a virtual background. And then when you select choose a virtual background, let's see if it'll let me share that window. Okay, when you collect, it looks like so. Can you see that in front of you now? Do you see the picture where it says virtual background where I am? And I can select from the options that are there, and if I pick them, the ones that are already preset, some of them are preset, some of them I've uploaded myself, and I can change my background to a variety of ones, including moving backgrounds, or you may be familiar with my time in the York University Library from my last set of Moodle retreats. I can have none, which would then show you what's directly behind. And as some of people have noticed, I have a green screen. I've talked about that before, which is just basically a large piece of green fabric. But if I chose that, there's a button where you click, I have a green screen. And if you do that, then what happens, it tends to make the lines around your arms and shoulders and head just a little more clean in the picture itself. And so I'll go back to my swanky office in the middle of downtown anywhere, and I will return back to the course itself. Okay, so I'm going to screen share back to where I was, and I'm going to now start to build. So there are resources there for us on how to do this. Oh, the other thing I was going to say is if we go back to our Going Digital website again, and we're in the faculty resources, and we scroll on down to this new great spot called training videos, which is wonderful, which I'm so happy about. And thank you to the team for putting this together. We see our first couple days from the retreat are up here. Day 3 is up here again as well. I mean, thank you so much. The team is working so hard to get this to you right away. It's a lot of work, and it's just greatly appreciated. It's amazing what happens when people come together for a common goal and want to see great things happen, and everyone's willing to give and work together. I appreciate the team so much. So thank you, and I hope you do too as well for what they're making it happen. So thank you. And if we scroll down though to the previous round of retreats, what you'll see is when I talk about how to create the welcome video, I also show how to set up and record Zoom classes one time in regular meetings, including office hours, and then how to share those recordings in Moodle itself. So I'll very briefly do that right now in about 3 to 4 minutes. I'm going to walk you through how to put your office hours on to Moodle using Zoom. But more detail definitely is already here, and you can come and take a look at that. Including, which is also important, is if you don't want to use Zoom for your recordings, we'll talk about this again a little more, how to use Relay Camtasia, or how to use YouTube to record your messages. There's a nice video here about that. So I just want to show you the resources that are there. But right now we're talking about putting together an office hour link, because that's what I'm dealing with right now. So let's go to the course that we're building, or that I'm building right now, and that you're building right now for the fall. So that's a course I'm teaching currently in the summer. So I have to come back to my dashboard. I have to go to the future. And in the future, I'm teaching, well, I'm not teaching, but I'm building Myth and Imagination in Ancient Greece and Rome, Section B, which we looked at the other day. We put in the expanded course description. We put in the image, and then we started to build our course. We recorded our introductory message. We went with audio because I couldn't do the video at that point. And we had imported the template and began to clean it up so it looks a little bit more like we want our course to look like. In this particular case, we came down to where the syllabus was, and we added the syllabus. Inside the syllabus section, we added it both as a link that could be downloaded because some people wanted that option, or just to paste, which is the recommended option, but both options are fine. Go with what works for you. And now the whole syllabus can be found here. I'm scrolling back up, coming back to the main part where the students will be. And I actually removed the restrictions. I showed you how to remove the restrictions that requires the students to take the Pledge of Academic Integrity and the confirmation before they can see the syllabus, because some people had asked, how do I do that? So I showed you how to do that as well. And because I took some time off the screen yesterday after the retreat, I didn't go back on and put those restrictions back on, okay? But you may have those on or you may not. And then we put up some virtual office hours email policy for the professor. This was the professor's email virtual office hour policy. And then we started to build the scheduler, which we did for what those office hours would look like. And let's see if I'm in the student view. I'll put on my student view. It may not let me in if I'm in this. Let's take a look here. Let's see what it will show me. No, I'm here, perfect. And if I scroll down and I click on the virtual office hours as the student, it won't let me book those. Okay, maybe I need to make an adjustment on what I did. But I will return to my normal role. It says that there are no slots available. All right, well then I would add the slots just like we did last time. I'd click add repeated slots, and I would go through the process of putting all the slots in, just like we did yesterday. Okay, I'm not going to spend time fixing that little problem today, but I will just keep moving along. Again, it's a great example, always modeling what's happening. You send me lots of emails about how it worked yesterday, but it's not working today. It was working 10 minutes ago, but it's not working now. Folks, welcome to Moodle. But that's okay, right? I think about it a lot like just in life, you can't control the ocean, so you might as well learn to ride the waves. It's sort of a great philosophy, right? We can't control the ocean, so we just kind of learn to ride the waves. And of course, if you've ever been surfing, and I did some surfing last year when I was living in Australia, the wave wins more often than you do. So we get knocked over, that's okay. We get back on the board and we find our way back into our Moodle site and begin to build again. So let's see. I have my roll is ready to go. I'm going to scroll back up to the top. I'm going to turn my editing on. So in the top right corner where that gear is, I turn my editing on. And now let's start to build. So the first thing I want to do here is I want to just put my Zoom office hour in. So that now we can have the Zoom room. So I'm going to click on add an activity or resource. And on the left-hand side, I'm going to see the activities or resources that are available to me. I'm going to scroll down to the puzzle piece. Now, there's two puzzle pieces that you'll see. See two different puzzle pieces. The first one's called external tool. If you click on this one, that is okay, because if you click on add, I'll show you just in 1 second. One of the tools that you can use when you click on here is Zoom. So you could scroll down and you could click on Zoom. So you could do it that way. That is perfectly fine. That's how it was originally built for us in Moodle. But the wonderful people we have at York said, look, what if we just made a faster way for our teaching team to get there? What if we instead just let them add an activity or resource and we gave them a puzzle piece, and that puzzle piece was actually just straight to Zoom. So we scroll down, there's a second puzzle piece right here, and this one says Zoom on it. So it doesn't matter which puzzle piece you pick. If you pick the one that just says external tool, we can make it Zoom. But if you pick the one that says Zoom, it's already pre-configured and ready to go for us. So I click add, and now I'm going to call the activity name. This one's going to be weekly office hours. Zoom room. I like to call things Zoom room. I like it because it rhymes, and I'm just a very simple person when it comes to those types of things. But rhyming makes people happy. That's why we tell children rhymes, and that's why stories that rhyme are always enjoyable all through our entire life. So weekly office hours, Zoom room. Also, this differentiates very clearly between what is the classroom per se, or what is the lecture hall, or what is the the tutorial class. There are more pieces of information here. If you just saw what I did there, I clicked on show more, and this allows me now when I click on show more to have this wonderful box here where I can now explain to students what this is. I would say students can book an office hour using the scheduler above, and then come here during my office hours, meet me virtually in or on, depending on what you think Zoom is or how Zoom works, in or on Zoom, okay? And once I've done that, now I'm ready to go. Now, if I wanted to, sorry, if you might feel uncomfortable by that, so I'll put the end there. There we go. If I wanted to, I could add more here because we've done this before and we're starting to get comfortable with this type of box, hopefully. I can bold some of the letters. I could, if I wanted office hour to be bold, I could highlight it and then click the B to make it a bold. I could click here, scheduler above, and then I could add a link. And I can even link it directly to the scheduler if I wanted to, and I'll show you how to do that in about in 1 minute. Or if I wanted to, I could come down here, I could add an image. We've done this before. I click on the link, I click on, for the image, I click on Browse Repository, and then I'm going to pick a file. I could pick one right from the YorkU images that are already there, or I have my office file that I'm going to upload. So I click Upload a File, I click Browse. My files come available to me, the ones that I want. There's my office space. I select my office space. I scroll down. This is public domain image. I upload the file, and now here's my image in here. And I save the image. I should put a description of it, so I'm just going to put Steve's virtual office. Okay, and I'm going to shrink the size a little bit because 1260 is really big. I like to work with 420 or 520. So in the left-hand side here with the image size, I find inside that Moodle box, 420 or 520 is a nice size image. So I just click on that. It's going to make it a reasonable size. I save the image, and now here's a picture of my office for people who want to come and meet me in my office. I also know, I'm just showing you this trick because you can use, every time this box here comes up, and it comes up a fair bit in the things we're going to do today and throughout Moodle. Every time this box here comes up, we can do the same things. We can add an image. We can add a link. We can do bullets to organize. We can bold. We can record audio. We can record video, or we can embed with a YouTube video. by coming to here. And again, if you want to know more about that, on the faculty Going Digital website, if you scroll down to that, there's a video of me explaining how to do all of these things there. But I want to just familiarize yourself with that. Okay, whenever I put something in this box and I want the students to see it, I have to click Display Description on Course Page. Now that I've done that, I know it's a Zoom, and now there's just a couple quick things right here. Grade. I'm going to turn the grade off. Okay. Whenever we build in Moodle, it's going to populate our gradebook. It always automatically populates our gradebook. I'm going to show you how to go through gradebook in a little bit, and we'll work through that. But I don't need I don't need a grade in the gradebook tied to every time my students click on the Zoom room for my office hours. So I'm just going to turn it right off, and now I'm going to click Save and Return. Okay, and I'm just going to turn my students actually, no, I shouldn't do that just yet. One more thing. So I scroll on down, I scroll on down, I scroll on down. Oh, here's my weekly office hours. There's my office for the students to see. Here's the information. They can go to the scheduler above right here in order to click the virtual schedule, and now we'll be able to go. So they're going to click on this, but when they click on it, there's going to be no office hour just yet because I haven't set that up. The other thing about Moodle is Moodle tends to work in sort of two stages. Stage one is we build a container. So if we want to have a Zoom meeting, we build a container for a Zoom meeting. If we want to have a quiz, we build a container for a quiz. If we want to have an assignment, we build a container for an assignment. And then we have to go and open it and put inside of that what we want it to be. We have to fill the container with the information the instructor wants there. So in this case, I have to fill this up by actually making the meeting itself. So if I look, there's no upcoming meetings. So I'm going to click on the right-hand side here, schedule a new meeting. This is the topic is right here. It's all myth and imagination, Greece and Rome. I'm actually going to pull that out, and I'm going to put Steve's fake office hours. I'm going to put fake office hours in case, for example, the instructor whose course this is comes in and starts to see this and wants to adjust, they can. If I want, I can put a description here. It's optional. But now I'm going to pick the dates and the time. I'm going to be meeting starting in September with students in this course. I'm going to meet on Tuesdays. My office hours is going to be from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So it's 12 o'clock. It's 1 hour long. And this meeting is going to happen recurring. It's going to happen every single week. So I click the recurring button. I want it to recur every single week. And I want it to happen on Tuesdays. If I wanted to do Tuesdays and Thursdays, I could check them both. And then every Tuesday and Thursday at this time, it would be there. But I only want it on Tuesdays. I want it to end actually at the end of the school year. So I just keep going all the way down through until I get to, April, let's say 20th. And now it's going to get set up for me. Registration I'm not requiring registration because I'm using the scheduler. A passcode is one option that you can certainly have there. I might pull the passcode off for my office hours, but I might turn the waiting room on. Okay. And what this means is when someone wants to come to the Zoom room, they come and they stay there, but they don't get let into the meeting itself, like the meeting we're having right now, until the host, which is me, lets them in. So what this means is, let's say I have a meeting, and again, I'm just going to pick the names that I see directly in front of me. I have a meeting with Carlo, and that's at 12 o'clock. And I have a meeting with Tim at 12:10. But Tim arrives at 12:05. Because he goes into the waiting room, he can't see or hear Carlo and I speaking. So the privacy of the student instructor is still maintained. The confidentiality is still maintained. Tim doesn't know who I'm meeting with inside the meeting room, but when Carlo and I finish, Carlo exits the Zoom room, and then as the host, I can just click and let Tim in, and now Tim joins me. And then maybe Nadia, who is the next person at 12:15 or 12:20, Nadia waits in the waiting room until I'm finished with Tim, and then Tim exits, and then I click and let Nadia in. So I'm going to turn on the waiting room for this particular option. I'm going to scroll down. I do not let them join before me. If you choose to record, you can. Just let students know that they're being recorded in the office hours. In some cases, this is very helpful. In other cases, it is not. It's just like whether or not you have your door open or closed as a professor when you meet with your students on the actual your campus. I leave that for you to decide what your best policy is. But if you wanted to, you can record it. You just need to let them know that. And then if you want them muted when they come in, you can, or you can turn that off as well. And then we click save. And so again, there's a full amount of information about how to do this on the Going Digital website if you wanted to. And the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll on down here now. And scroll up to where it says copy the invitation, and here's the URL. Okay, so if I copy the invitation, it's going to give me the whole big piece where I've scheduled my Zoom meeting. And if I scroll down, there's an opportunity at the bottom of that to just copy the whole invitation. I'm going to do that right here. And now I'm going to exit this page and go back to my main page. In my main page, now that I've set up my office hours and I've copied the invitation, I'm going to scroll down to where it says my weekly office hours. I'm going to click edit. I'm going to edit the settings. And now I'm actually going to give the students the link to that right here. So I click on show more to bring that big box up that has my picture in it. Here's my virtual office. I'm just going to create some space right underneath it. And I'm going to paste that because I just copied the whole invitation. So here's the whole invitation to the Zoom, like the one you often get for an email that has all the information for the student on how to get there. It also shows all the dates and all the times where it will be, and it's all there for the student. Now, if you don't want all of this because you actually really don't need it all, that's fine. Just take out what you don't want. So I'm actually going to take a whole bunch of it out. I'm just going to keep the link part. Now, I know there's another way of just getting the link by itself, and you could do that, but I'm just trying to show people the whole process. Okay, so Steve's fake office hours. It already says when it is. I'm just going to up here, up, and there we go. Now I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the page, save and return to the course. And now for my students, when they come and they see on the page, here's my office hours, here's the image, here's the link right here that they can go to. The link doesn't seem to be live. It's okay if they just click this button, they'll come into it and they'll actually come right to the spot where they can click join. Mine says start, but theirs will say join. But let's say, wait a second, I don't like that. I want the link to actually just be live so the students can click it directly in the box. How does that work? Well, if I come back to where I was, and again, I'm going to show you this because it's helpful later on in what we're doing other stuff. I edit my settings and I need to show more so I can get back to that box. Remember this box that has all these goodies in it? And I'm going to come down here to where the link is, and I'm going to copy that link. So I right-click my mouse, and I click copy. And then up here, I click the link button, right? This chain link button. And now I'm going to paste the link into there and click create link. Now I know the link works because it's gone to red text. Anytime it goes to red, it means I have a link. And I can do that for anything. Any text I want, I can link to anything. I can link it to other parts in Moodle. I can link it to other web pages. I could link it to readings or blogs or to YouTube or anything. I can always link from Moodle to anywhere. I just have to highlight this part that I want to link, click on the link button, paste the link that I want, and hit create link. And just like that, it works. So let's scroll down. We'll click save and return to course. I'm spending an extra minute here because this is a skill we'll use again in a few minutes. I scroll back down. Here's my office hour. Oh, look, it is. There's the link, and it's up and ready to go. And when I click on it now, it's going to launch me right into the meeting. I can't launch it because I'm currently launched in another meeting with you right now. So I'll come back to my Moodle page. And the next thing I want to show you is this virtual office hours that we talked about before. I said students could book an office hour using the scheduler above and then come to it. But I told you that you could also link that scheduler. So to do that, I would just click on the office hours. And then up here at the very top of the page, I need to get the web address that I want to link. So up here at the very top, see this bar up here at the very top of my screen? Any web page has an address like this. This is the address. And so whatever I want to link to, that's the part that I need to come and get. So now that I've showed you where it is, I have to turn off my annotate. Okay. And I'm going to come and I'm going to copy it, highlight it, and I'm going to copy it. I could also highlight it and cut it. It would do the same thing. And then now that I have the address, I have to go and paste it somewhere to make the link. So I go back to my main page. I scroll down, scrolling to my virtual office hours. I click on edit. I edit my settings. And don't worry, you can watch this video later and slow me down. Don't worry. And then I come to show more. And remember I said book using the scheduler above. So maybe I'm just going to highlight that line as well. I'm going to click on the link button. I'm going to paste that link that I copied that was once up here that I've since changed. 1 second, I'm going to clear that. Because this is actually now a different address than the one before. The scheduler one that I have down here, if you look, okay, it's 2526362, but now I'm in my Zoom, it's actually 2529285, so they're actually different addresses, okay? But I pasted it in, and I got to turn that on, and I'm going to click create the link, and now I know that there's a link because it's turned red. I scroll on down, click save and return to course, and now if my students come and they scroll, if they click on this link, it's going to take them into the scheduler, just like that. Okay, so we can build some links as well. There's all kinds of fun things we can do. So now I have my office hours. I have my office hours Zoom link. I have my basic setup of my course. I have my course announcements. I might even send a course announcement now to my students to say office hours have been set up. Here's the link, because now I know how to do that, right? If I was to come to where I already have the link for how to schedule it. So maybe I would come to here and I'd say course announcement. I'd send out a course announcement, and I'd send it to all my participants. But check this out. When I click here, because I have different groups set up, remember we set up groups last class? I can send an announcement to just an individual group or an individual tutorial instead of to everybody. But I'm going to send this one to everybody, and I might add a new topic, and I might say, my office hours are now up on Moodle. And I might say, hi, everyone. My office hours are now up on Moodle. Please come and check them out. I actually can't type that fast, which is why I'm just hitting a bunch of different letters in case you're wondering. Okay, and then here's how we go, and feel free to sign up. And I'm going to say, you can sign up here. I take here, and I highlight it with my mouse. I come to my link. I click on the link. I've already copied it from before, the scheduler, so I paste it in there, and now I click create link. And just like that, now my students, when I post this to the forum, this message will now go out. They'll get it in the email. My office hours are now up on Moodle. They'll click on it. It'll say, hi, everyone. My office hours are now up on Moodle, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can sign up here. They click this link even from their email, and it'll take them right to that spot. They'll have to sign into Moodle, but once they sign in through, it'll take them directly to this spot by using that link. Okay? So we can have some fun, and we can do some fun stuff once we start to learn how to link and start to put things up on the site the way we want. The last thing is, before I move on, I actually have to delete that message because I'm not the course director. And this would, again, really startle many of our first-year students if it was ever to get sent out. But you have 15 minutes when you send through the course forums before it actually posts. Okay, so I've deleted it. I come back to my course. And so now we're going to keep building. So we've got some really good things in place. This is going to be sort of the end, I think, of our first section of our Moodle page. So now I'm actually going to walk into topic number 1, and I'm going to start to make put some things into topic number 1, okay? Now, if I want to just change the name of topic number 1, I can just click this pen that's right beside it, and I can change it to whatever I want. I'm going to call this section lecture and tutorials. And I know we had talked about doing sort of weeks or putting the weeks that we want in place and having them come down underneath, and we'll get to that. But I also think that I want maybe right near the top some information for my students about lectures and tutorials. And I want it to be clear as to where to get that information, and I want it to be sort of really right near the top. The other thing I might do is the next one I think I'm going to put in there today is I'm going to put grades, okay? Grades and assignments. Now, I know there are lots of ways to build courses. Trust me, I've built many of them. I'm trying to show you what I think is best practice with the least amount of work and the least amount of confusion and the least amount of clicks, okay? And I kind of know what it looks like on the other end when it comes out, so I'm just going to say walk with me. I know that there's a variety of different ways that you may want to do it and things that you think about that you want to do. I'm happy to meet with all of you. Also, Teaching Commons has drop-in hours, and you can work with them as well to build your specific site. But I'm showing right now, I'm trying to move the critical mass right now. So I'm trying to show all of you what I think is the easiest, fastest, and simplest and still best way to get things in there for our students. Then once I've got my lectures and my tutorials, I have my grades and my assignments. What was the next one that I want to put in here? Okay, then I think I might want to, instead of going week by week, I'm actually going to go month by month. Okay, and I'll show you why I'm doing that in a second. So I'm going to do September, and then I'm going to do October. That's a Dr. Seuss joke for those of you who have read that book. by Dr. Seuss. And now I'm going to add a few more sections. What did I just do there? Because I've run out of sections. I've run out of topics. At the very bottom, there's a button that says Add Topics with a plus sign. I click Add Topics. It's going to ask me how many more topics I want to add. So I know that I want November, and I know that I want December, and then I may want one more. I don't know why yet, but I'm going to put 3 more there anyhow, because it's always, I like to have the extra one there. I can always take it away. And again, we can build the whole course, but we're going to build on the premise that maybe in the off chance that the world goes back to being normal, we'll go back to class in January. My job is to get you online and ready for September, and then we'll deal with January when we get to January. But if I can get you on for September and you're ready to go for September, you'll be able to add another topic for January, add another topic for February, add another topic for March, and do that as is. Now, why don't I use week after week after week after week after week? Because students are then going to have 24, 25, or 26, or 27 of these that are just scrolling all the way down. And if they're on their phones using the Moodle app to get it, it's scroll, 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 scroll. I mean, so it's not the best. Is it functional? Absolutely. Will it be useful for students? For sure. Can I hide all the ones the students aren't using so they don't see it? Yes. If I come over here, let's say we're in September, but I don't want them to see October, I click on Edit. I click on Hide, and now the student won't see it. I'll still see it when I'm building what they won't. So let's hide. I'm going to hide October. I'm going to change by clicking there. I'm going to put November here. I have to hit Enter. If I don't hit Enter, it will just keep saying the same topic over and over again. And now I'm going to click on Edit. I'm going to hide November. I'm going to change topic 6 to December. Click on Edit, and I'm going to hide December. So October, November, December, the student won't see. Now, I can make it available at the very beginning of the year so they can see it all, and that might be helpful. Or maybe I want to just give them enough to get them started and comfortable in September, and then open up each month at the beginning of each month. What if, well, you say to me, well, what if they need to know what's coming in October and November? I'll say, that's not a problem. If they just scroll up to the syllabus, right, and they just click on the course syllabus, I have the full reading list on the syllabus. So all the dates are already down here. If we scroll, scroll, scroll all the way down, all the dates are already here already. They have the syllabus. It has all the readings. It has all the information. They can still find it. I'll tell my students that. Go find the syllabus. It's all there on the syllabus. But I'm just talking about how I want to organize the Moodle for my students to find that information, to work on it month by month by month. And then inside each month, we'll put the weekly activities in a moment. And between today and tomorrow, I mean, by the time we're done tomorrow, this is actually all going to be filled in. The lecture and tutorials, the different spaces for each of the tutorials to work within, the grades will be there, how to set up the grade book will be there, all the different assignments for the students will be there, and in addition to that, week by week we'll be here for September, for October, for November, taking us right up to the midterm of this particular course that I'm building and your course as well. So not to worry, again, as we're painting now, things are starting to appear much more in front of us. And then there's always the option for extensions or building out. And if you want those extensions on how to build out and have more sort of engaging or dynamic or creative assignments, tests, evaluation, forums, for et cetera, I'm going to show you how to build them and how to use them in the very practical sense. If you'd like more, those resources exist for us. We just simply need to go to our Going Digital website, and we click on our faculty resources. And if we scroll on down, what we'll find is here we can have e-services training. So we can go to e-services training and we can learn a little bit about how to set up quizzes or Zoom breakout rooms, wikis, Turnitin, etc. So there's a variety of tools that we can learn about there and use there. We can go to the Teaching Commons, and they have, again, a series of classes or courses that are available for us as well. And I'm taking a couple this summer myself, always learning. Or we can even just come, I think I showed you this the other day, back to Teaching with Moodle. And if we scroll on down, there's an opportunity here to get our access to the textbook, the Moodle textbook that we have that shows us how to do some of these things. I'm going to show you how to do them anyways. But again, where do I go if I need more, Steve? What do I do? You can do all of that. And every Tuesday in August, I'm running another retreat. We'll all go more in depth. Okay, so I'm pretty super excited right now because now this course is starting to take shape. I have my intro video. I have my imported template. I have my syllabus. I have my virtual office hours scheduler set up and ready to go. I have my virtual office hours Zoom room set up and ready to go so I can actually start to meet with my students. I gave it a nice little image. So now I know how to insert an image. I know how to insert audio because I did that for my welcome video. I know how to insert a video because I did that before. And I know how to link it to set up links to other pages inside of Moodle, like I did here with the scheduler. And I can link to outside as well. So I've got a lot going on. I've also added a couple more topics, and I've learned how to change the names of my topics. And I've come to the decision that I'm going to organize my course, at least for the fall, around months, so that I'm going to give my students September, and we're going to build in September, either week by week or module by module, depending on what you're doing in your course. All right, but instead of having it be in a more open sense, I'm going to sort of try and give it a more slim focus for my students. I'm going to work in September, October, November. And I'm just going to show you real quick that that's also how I work in my course right now this summer. So, and then I'm going to take my 11:40 stretch break, and then I'm going to build that lecture tutorial section with you in a moment when we come back before we're done today. Okay, so in progress, here's a course that I'm teaching right now. I showed it to you briefly, but I do it already. Like I work on, here's my May section, here's my June section, my July section, my August section. So when we click on May, my students see all the information for May. So here's the starting point for May, where they share their ideas. And if we scroll on down, I'm using a book, but I mean, we scroll on down, we have some forums where the students can submit their work, links that I already showed you how to build those links. Here's some assignment work that they do, and there's a sort of a checklist at the very end for did you complete everything you needed to do this particular month. When we go into the book itself, we have some videos from me, but we also have the types of tasks that we're working on, and we have links to readings or lectures and readings. And again, at the very end, I always give my students a checklist. Did you complete everything that you needed to do? Okay, I'm just showing you that to say that here's sort of where we're building to. So we're going to scaffold our learning as we go, and then we're going to get to a spot that looks something like that by the time we get to Friday. And then, of course, you have the rest of the summer to continue to build, and we can keep on building. And the wonderful thing about Moodle, people who don't like Moodle, I know, I've been on Moodle for 15 years now, and there are so many times I've thrown things at the wall because of Moodle. Having said that, Moodle is beautiful because when we figure out the logic behind it and the things that we can do amazing things. And because it's actually open source technology, it means that there are Moodle developers around the world, people around the world who are building cool, fun things for Moodle, and then they put them out there and make them available for free for other Moodle users to use. So it's not proprietary the same way a lot like Canvas or Blackboard or D2L or Brightspace or some of these other platforms are. It's actually open source. And what that means is we get a lot of creativity that doesn't get locked up because of proprietary reasons. And because of that, we get some really cool and fun stuff. And it comes from people who use Moodle and say, hey, this doesn't work for me. I wish someone would build something, and then they build it, and then they share it. So that's really cool stuff. I'll show you more. But it's 11:40. I need 90 seconds. Stretch my eyes, stretch my body, have a sip of water, have a bite to eat. I'm going to pause the recording. Okay, so we are back, and we'll get back at it now. Amazing work by Linda in the chat room. Thank you so much, Linda. You are awesome, answering so many great questions there. And your questions are all good. They're all very valid. And I recognize that every one of you is going to design your own unique course because you're all incredibly unique instructors. You're teaching unique subject matter. You have unique specialities that have brought you to the university, and then you're going to create that into your own learning space or learning platform. What I'm trying to give to you today and throughout this week, and what we've done with things like templates at the Dean's office, is we're trying to give you guidelines. So we're trying to give like a little bit of external structure, but then you have to work and navigate through that structure with what works best for you. I mean, what I'm showing you right now isn't even the way that I design my own courses per se. It's just this is the starting point or the entry point, and then you navigate your way through that as what works best for you. So always, feel free to do that, and certainly ask your questions to great people like Linda, the Teaching Commons, eServices, myself. And we're here to help you. But again, have your own individual flair. I'm showing you only one way, and like most things, there are many ways to do things and to do them well. And so feel free to continue to build and work in your own fashion what works for you. I'm going to come back now though and talk about what I think is how I think I want to build this course going forward though. So I go back to my future courses. Here's Myth in Greece and Rome that I'm working on. And I'm going to now scroll down to where we have lectures and tutorials. I'm going to start to build in this section right here. So if I come back up and turn my editing on, top right where that gear is, I turn my editing on, I'm now able to start to add to this particular section. So inside of a section, I can do a couple of things. I can begin by adding an activity or resource to type into, or I can click edit and edit topic. And then when I do that, this box is going to come up for me. So once I know I have that box come up for me, I know that I can do a variety of things, right? I can record, I can audio, I can put a YouTube video in, I can add an image, I can link, I can bullet, I can play with my text. So there's a lot that I can do here, and I encourage you to do what you think works well. At the beginning of topics, like this one here, or the beginning of September, the beginning of October, the beginning of November, I like to begin with a video. So I actually would come to here and record a little video or a little piece of audio, and I would just simply say, welcome to this section, and a brief overview of what they're going to find in that section. You don't need to do that, but if you wanted to, you could. You could just click and say, I'm going to allow the microphone. Hi everyone, this is the lecture and tutorial section. What you'll find below is a description of the lecture and the tutorial as seen on the calendar. This is also where you'll enter the lecture room for our weekly lectures. This is for the synchronous or live component. This is also where you'll find the access point to your individual tutorial leaders and tutorial sections for the synchronous or asynchronous component, or however your course is set up. Thank you. If you have any questions, send me an email, sgennaro@yorku.ca. Stop the recording, I attach the recording, and now it's embedded right there. I might do that, or I might do a video version, or I might even put nothing in here. But let's say that's what I put. Now I save the changes, and on this page, it immediately becomes there. The other way you could do it, though, is you could use a label. So if I scroll on down, at the top you have activities, okay, activities, but at the bottom we have what's called resources. And resources you saw in my course, I was using a book. And when we did the syllabus, we did a page. That was a page that I had you paste your stuff into on the syllabus. But you could also use what's called a label. And a label is just basically anywhere where we want to put text onto our Moodle, like it's a web page, or anywhere we want to put text that the students are going to see, or audio or video. We can't just put it directly onto the Moodle. We have to put it onto something. So we're going to use a label. So it's like putting a label up on if you have a bunch of boxes in your office, you put a label on the box, then you write on the label what it is, the information that you want to know. Same idea. I'm going to add a label, and I'm going to click add. And then whenever I add a label, all a label is this wonderful, beautiful box. As you can see, that I'm always very excited to see, because whenever I see this box, it means that I can do a whole host of things. So anytime I want to add something onto my Moodle site, whether it's video, audio, a YouTube video, image, a link to somewhere else. I want to organize or categorize data. I want to put some text. I can do it by adding a label. Okay. So now that I've added this label, I'm just going to repeat the exact same process I did before, just so I'm consistent. And I'm going to record my little message. And I'm going to turn my microphone on. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the section on lectures and tutorials. Here in this section, you'll find the information you need about the lectures and all your tutorials. Here's where you come to get the Zoom room for the lecture, if it's a synchronous component. And here's where you'll find the access points to your tutorials and your individual tutorial leaders to find out the information that you need. Stop recording, attach recording, and there it is embedded. Okay, and if I scroll down and click Save and Continue, it's going to appear on just like that. So I have either, I don't need both of these because I've just repeated the same process, but I wanted to show you that there's two ways to do this. Okay, you could do it either way. And so I'll delete this one. We won't use this one, but you could leave it there. Okay, delete that label. Now instead, though, what I want to do is I want to start to put some course information in here. So I'm going to click on Add an Activity or Resource. I'm going to scroll down to a label. I'm going to add a label. I'm going to click Add. And now I want to put some information about this particular course that is important for the students to know when it comes to, in terms of the course itself and the lectures and tutorials. So to do this, I need to go to my syllabus. So I pull up my syllabus, and what I need is some information here about the course itself. So I'm scrolling on down. Let's see if I have it in here. I don't have the information that I want here. Okay, so if you don't have the information of the dates and the times that your course is scheduled to meet, then what we need to do is we need to go and pull it from the York University website so that we can have it. And I'll show you what I mean by that. You might already have it on your syllabus. If you do, that's amazing because it means you're one step ahead of me. But I don't have it, so how would I find it? Well, I would go to yorku.ca. And then when I'm on the university camp, I would go to current students. And then for current students, I want to scroll down to look at where they're going to be enrolling. I want to go to the course timetable. And I know the name of this course because I just copied it off the syllabus. So for the fall winter, I'm going to paste the name of the course into the course title box. I'm going to search. Here we go. Click on the course to see it. This is section A. This is not the section I'm working with. I'm working with section B. Here we go. So I'm actually just going to highlight all of this information. I know it's a lot of information, and I don't really want all of it, but I don't have time today to sort of to trim it down. If I had time to trim it down, what I might do is open up a Microsoft Word document that would look like this. And then into my Microsoft Word document, I would paste what I just copied. And then what I would probably do is I would probably delete this because I don't really want this particular section. So I might delete that cell. I would actually delete the entire column, and it would take that whole column right out for me. Actually, I'm glad I did this. I like this so much better. It only took me 2 or 3 seconds. Good. And now I'm going to copy this instead. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to now go paste that instead into my Moodle site because it'll look much nicer. So where's my Moodle site? Come back to my Moodle site to share with you. I have to go back to Moodle, which I don't have open because I went over to here. I'm going to find my way back into Moodle. I'm going to open the course back up. I'm going to top right corner, turn the editing on. Good, it's already on. I'm going to scroll down to my lectures and tutorials. I'm going to add an activity or resource. I'm going to scroll down and add a label. And then I'm going to paste this into here. And click Save and Return. So now the students will be able to see very clearly the lecture time and then who the instructor is. As this gets updated using the ARM system at York, all the instructors will actually appear here. I probably want to take this link off because it's a link that's come with me when I pasted it. So I click on Edit Settings. If I want to break a link, it's the same. It's the opposite of adding a link. So I come here and I highlight it. Put my thing right in there, and I click on the break link, and now the red text is gone. So if I just put before there was a link here, I put my mouse, my cursor where it was. I tried to highlight it, but it wouldn't let me highlight it. It was like moving the whole box. So instead, I just put the cursor right there, and then I came up here and I clicked the break link button. Before I was building links, here I'm breaking links. And if I click the break link button, it just takes the link away. And I know I've taken the link away because the text has gone from red to black. If it had a link on it, it would all be red. It would look like this. So let's click here to see availability. I also happen to bring that over from the York University website, and I don't want that either. So I can either highlight the whole piece, and then I click that break link button. And I break the link, and now that link is gone. And I know the link is gone because it's gone to black text. I actually don't even want the entire text there, so I'm just going to highlight it, and I'm going to hit backspace and just remove it. But I just showed you how to break the link, which is also important for us to know. Now, I don't know if we need this category number here. Maybe I take that out so it's a little more clean and not so busy. But the important part here is it shows for us the dates and the times. So now we know lecture is 8:30. And now that we know that these are all the tutorials and the times that they meet. And that's the information that I really want for the next part of our course. Because what we're going to do, and again, time just disappears when I'm Moodle Retreat building, what I'm going to do next, and this is how I'm going to start tomorrow, and I promise you by the time we get together Friday, I will have it for you. I'll get there, I promise. Trust me, I will get you there. What I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to show you how to set up for each of these individual spaces a spot for your tutorial leaders to work inside independently. So that way we can have our main course, which will operate here. Students will come to September. They'll see all the September information. All the main stuff will be there, including if you wanted to, you could post your weekly asynchronous lectures there, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. But when it comes time to work within our tutorials, they can come right here and they can actually access all of their tutorials. And I'm gonna show you how to set it up, and then I'm going to show you how to set it up and then link it so that students just come and all they got to do is click on whatever their tutorial is, and it's going to link them right there for you. So we don't have to have a million different things that the students see. We're going to keep it really clean and neat. And I'll show you but before I go the way I'm going to do that, just real quick, and I'll walk you through the whole process tomorrow to start, is I'm going to add an activity or resource. I told you how I'm going to teach you how to use forums. We're going to build a forum. We're going to add a forum. That forum is going to be called Tutorial 1 or Bob's tutorial or Jane's tutorial or whatever it may be, whatever name you want. We're going to display that description. We're going to put a description in here. Tomorrow, I'm going to go into more detail of what goes into each of these boxes. We're going to display that description. It's going to be a standard forum. It's going to be available for the whole year. So we're going to turn it on starting from September the 7th and having it run until April the 23rd is fine. We're going to have attachment and word count as big as possible for our students so they can do as many things as possible. We are going to have forced subscription because I want people in the tutorials to have to know what's going on. Forced subscription means every time something gets posted, students get an email about it. But if you find that obnoxious and you don't want that, which some people do, you can have auto subscription or optional, and then students can choose to be subscribed or not. And then I'm going to scroll on down for the grade. We may decide to do something with the grade. I'm going to show you that tomorrow because it can be cool. And then I'm just going to keep on scrolling. Okay, restrict access, we want none. Common module settings, we already have it set up for groups. Okay? And I'm just going to save and I'm going to return to course. And what didn't I add? Oh, the cutoff, I put 2020. Sorry, folks. 2021. And I'm going to scroll on down. Tomorrow I'm going to show you how to actually lock it on down in a different way because I'm actually going to add a restriction. That restriction is going to be by group, and it's going to be tutorial 1 because this is tutorial 1. Student must match the following tutorial 1, and I'm going to save and return to course. And now what's going to happen is there's going to be a forum here that's only for tutorial 1. So when students log into the course, if they're in tutorial 1, they will see this. If they're not in tutorial 1, if they're in 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, they won't see this. And then I'm actually going to rebuild this again. I'm going to edit, I'm going to duplicate, and it's going to give me another one. And I'm going to duplicate it until I have 6 of them. Okay, I'm going to edit, and I'm going to duplicate until I have 6 of them. And I'm going to stop here, but just pretend that you did this 3 more times. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to change the name from tutorial 1 to tutorial 2. Click enter. I'm going to change the name from tutorial 1 copy to tutorial 3, and click enter. And I'm going to just quickly make sure, click edit settings, that I also adjust the restriction. So I'm going to scroll on down to restrict access. This is my tutorial 2, so I'm going to change it to tutorial 2 to make sure only tutorial 2 students can see it. And I'm going to save and return to course. I'm almost done, 90 more seconds. And then I'm going to repeat the same process. So now not available unless you belong to tutorial 2. So when we log in, tutorial 1 will only see this. Tutorial 2 will only see this. Once I adjust this restriction, which I'm going to do right now before I go today, scroll on down, restrict access, must match the following, tutorial 3, add restriction. Oh, I don't want to add another one, that's good enough. Save and return to course. And now here we go. Tutorial 1, tutorial 2, tutorial 3. I'll show you what we're going to do with those tomorrow, but now they're set up and they're ready to go. Only tutorial 1 will get to this one. Only tutorial 2 will get this one. Only tutorial 3 will get this one. And we're going to build the whole tutorials inside of these little forums. And like I told, I'll show you last thing before I go. When I click on this button to tutorial 1, if I look up at the very top of my web page, I already showed you, there's a unique address for everything that we do on Moodle. Here's my unique address up here. So what I'm going to do to that unique address is I'm going to come to it, I'm going to copy that address, select it, and I'm going to copy it, okay? And now I'm going to go back Back to my page, because this is for the forum. This is the tutorial 1 forum that I've now got set up. I'm going to come up to where it says edit for my label that I built. I'm going to come to where it says tutorial 1 right here. I'm going to highlight that tutorial 1 box. It won't let me highlight the box. There we go. Highlight. I'm going to click on link because we already know how to do that. I'm going to paste the link in. I'm going to create the link, and now there it is and it's live. Now, if I want the whole thing to do it, I might have to do it box by box just because of how I set the formatting up. Sorry, but I click on link and I paste that link again. And I click on here and I click on link and I paste the link again. This is a very long way to do it. There are faster ways, but I'm just trying to be very thorough with you and show you the whole process. Click on link, paste it again, create the link, and one more time, click on link, paste the link, and create the link. Now, you don't have to, you could do just the one spot if you wanted to, but I'm doing them all. I know it's a great link because it's red. I scroll on down, I click save and return to course, and now when my students come in, I mean, this box is now live. And eventually what's going to happen is once I build the forum for tutorial 2, which I did, I can link that, tutorial 3, tutorial 4, 5, 6, and all of these can be live, on live links. So when the student clicks on this, if they're in tutorial 1, it will take them into the tutorial 1 forum. But guess what? Because there's the restriction on the forum, if they're not in tutorial 1, when they click on it, it will just say you don't have access to this. So that well, they can't still, they actually can't get into it. So I have now, and this is where we're going to end for today. I have now started the process. I have my, let's go right back and walk through the whole thing from the top. We have our course, we did the title, we have the introductory welcome message. We have the template that we've imported that has all of the guidelines for our students about how their learning is going to happen online this fall. And we've made the adjustments that reflect our course. We have the policies. We asked them to take the pledge of academic integrity. Our course syllabus is here. It's well drafted. All the info is also there for our students. They can download it if they like. I have my office hours policy and my email policy very clear early for my students. I have my office hours scheduler, which is set up there for students to use. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. This is an extra step. For some, it causes a lot of confusion. What I have found, though, is if I'm teaching multiple section courses, so if I'm the course director and there's 15 tutorials, I like to have a scheduler because I get a lot of email, and your email goes up dramatically when you're teaching online. You'll have a significantly more email than you've ever had before. And so if every time someone wants to send me an email to meet with me, if I can remove all of those emails, well, let's say I meet with 10 students a week. That's a minimum of 10 emails that I've just taken out of my inbox. So that's why I use the scheduler, okay? It takes a bit of work, but it's worth it over the course of the year when you take those emails out of your inbox, okay? And then students have the option of just, without having to email you, they can just pick the time they want to meet you. And they tend to like that. I have my Zoom room to meet them. I could have picked my meeting room when I went to Zoom, but I didn't. I like to use the full Zoom room because it just gives me, I like the options that are there. And I turned on the waiting room, so students have to come and wait in the waiting room, and I bring them in one at a time. So it gives me the same privacy as the meeting room, but it gives me in the big Zoom room, and I like it like that. I have my office. I showed you how to put an image in here, how to link to different parts. And then we set up our topics. We started to set up our topics. The first topic is the lecture tutorial topic, which I want to start with. I have a welcoming message to my students about explaining what they're going to find below them. I added a label. We learned how to add a label. We got our course information from the university webpage, so we know that it's accurate. We pasted that in. We edited it a little bit in Microsoft Word. We pasted it in. Then we went and set up forums for each of our tutorials, which wasn't hard. We only had to do it once. And then we just duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. Remember, we clicked edit and then duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. We went in and changed the restrictions for each of them so that just the students from that tutorial can access it. And then we went back, because I already showed you how to do this, and edited by pasting the link to each one of these so this piece became live and ready to go. That's a lot for one day. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to turn these individual forums once you've built them. And I guess that's your homework for today, is build these forums, if you can, with the restrictions into a little lecture tutorial space topic on your course. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to take these forums, just one simple thing like a forum, and turn that forum into a tutorial classroom for your tutorial leaders. How they can use it to speak to their students, how they can use it to have announcements, how they can use it to even have assignments and to work with their students, to have communication with their students, audio, visual, everything, and how it can all just happen in this nested little space In addition to that, tomorrow I'm going to show you how to set up the big assignments for your course, quizzes, essays, tests, other types of assignments as well, and how those then show up in the grade book and to set the grade book up. And then we're going to take September, October, November, December, and we're going to populate that with the rest of our syllabus and all the syllabus information. And as we do that, as we populate it here with month by month or week by week, however you want to do it, we're going to continue to add links into these little spots. And as we add those links will take us back to all the places we need to go. They'll take us to the forums for the classroom. They'll take us to the lecture room itself, which we're going to set up tomorrow. They'll take us to the office hours. They'll take us to where we have our grades and our assignments if there's a big assignment due. They'll even take us to the York Library where the readings are and so forth. So everything we need to do for the course by the end of tomorrow will certainly be started and up and running, and then you'll be off and ready to go yourself. I kept you a little bit extra today, but thank you for sticking around. I'm going to stop my share. I'm going to stop the recording. And we'll go forward. Remember, if you want to go to the Going Digital website and you scroll down to where the teaching videos are, those resources for teaching videos, what you'll find there in my previous Zoom retreat is how to set up your Zoom lecture, how to record that lecture. Okay, so I'm not going to do that time so much here because it takes a lot of time to demonstrate that. I also show you how to post or give your students the links to those recordings. And I show you how to do that on Camtasia TechSmith Relay and how to do it using YouTube. So it's all there already. It's a whole hour, and you can walk through and watch that if you wanted to in advance of tomorrow. That might also be helpful. Whew. I think it's time for me to press stop. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Day 4. I can't believe it. I can't believe there's 100 people coming every day to this. I'm so happy to help you. Feel free to send me an email if you need help, sgennaro@yorku.ca. It took me a while, but I got through all of them again, even this morning before I started. I respond to every single email. I'm happy to help. I'm here for you. And I wish we were a cast of thousands, but we're not. We're a cast of very few, but the very few of us are working very hard. So thank you to my team that's out there working with me. Thank you to Linda, and thank you to Sonia, and thank you to Emily, and thank you to everyone at eServices for all the work that they're doing, helping to support you and the Teaching Commons, and of course the Associate Dean of Teaching and Learning. And I feel like I'm on an award show. The music's playing in the background. I'm trying to get everyone's thank yous out before I go. Most importantly, though, I say this every time, and I mean this. Thank you to you. I mean, you are working hard. It is very stressful. And few things are more stressful than when you build something on Moodle and then it's not there. So I know that feeling, and I appreciate the hard work you're doing. Stay with it. We'll get you there. Your course will be up. It will be great. It will be bumpy, but we will get there, right? We can't control the ocean, but we can learn to ride the waves. So I will see you all tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. And day 5, I'm looking forward to it. Bye, everyone.